other topic I want to talk about today. I don't think so. All right. So the other topic I want to talk about is that a couple nights ago I was playing Diablo, and as I was playing Diablo 4, a topic came up with the audience, and the topic is as follows: Hey Phil, why don't you play these new releases more? Like, for example, when a new game comes out, why don't you play it like a marathon, 2-3 days, to get as far into the game as you can? A lot of the other streamers, your contemporaries, actually beat new releases within 2-3 days by playing them in a marathon setting. Basically, they're playing it. Some of them are playing 13 to 18 hours a day and getting 40 hours into the game within 3 days. All right, so this opened up a discussion on the stream about how I handle new releases, about how it fits into my schedule, and how set my schedule is, what I mean, for as much as I stream, how dependable it is, but the fact that because I adhere to that schedule, that a lot of people feel like it holds me back from covering new releases more. But then during that discussion, what came up was that, well, in particular, there's a few streamers who do it way differently, and one of the names that came up was Asmongold. That I guess when a new game comes out, Asmongold will actually really dedicate himself to playing the game for 3 or more days to try to get through the main. I think the game that came up was Diablo, that he had played the main story of Diablo within 2-3 days. It was done. So now when he plays the game, he's in the post-game, end-game content that's considered the best content of the game, and people are excited, as opposed to, here I am, I've been playing Diablo for over 3 weeks, and I'm still in the campaign. I'm still in I'm in Act 4, right? And it opened up a discussion about it, and I was talking about, well, it's about work-life balance. If I only play games for 3 days, I mean, I'm not getting sleep, I'm not seeing my family, I'm spending no time with my wife, I'm not living up to my end of the bargain as a life partner, doing chores, and you know what I mean? Like, how unfair would that be? And, it was an interesting discussion, but the fact that I even said it when I was saying it during the segment, I said, so you guys are literally name dropping Asmongold, likely because you're trying to get drama stirred up. And I know that likely what will happen is all this will be taken out of context, right? And because again, it's about me. It's supposed to be about discussing me and how I cover new releases and why I cover them the way I do, as opposed to how others do. This is not me attacking others and their methodology. It's me defending my way of doing things, right? I said, but I guarantee you this will be taken out of context. And, we went a little bit further in because people were talking specifics about Asmongold. I'm like, well, I don't know the guy. I don't watch his content. I don't watch his gameplay. I know very big generalities about him, and that's about it, So I talked a little bit more for maybe I'd say probably the discussion lasted 10 minutes on my Diablo stream, right? So, of course, what happens? Literally exactly what I said happened. My haters/detractors took the segment, clipped it up, completely cut out the part with context. So when you watch their version, there was no discussion about me covering new releases whatsoever, and there was no criticism being thrown towards me saying that, oh, why don't you play those games more at release like others do? Instead, it's spun to make it look like I'm saying that others are doing it wrong, and the way that I do it is better because now I have a work-life balance, so my methodology is better than yours because I have a life and you don't. In reality, if you actually watch the raw footage, that's not the discussion at all. It's completely the opposite. I repeatedly say, anyone could do it in any way, it's all fine, but this is why I do it my way. I'm trying to tell you why I cover games the way I do and why it works for me, but another thing might work for someone else. And in fact, I outright said in the segment, when I was younger, I used to cover games like that. It was incredibly unhealthy. I'd be sitting in my room for 18 hours, recording, constantly uploading, eating fast food because I didn't have time to cook, and I was the most unhealthy, unhappy part of my life. I'm glad now that I have a better life, that I don't go back to those methods, right? So, again, in context, the whole thing makes sense. And you can see that I'm not insulting anyone. I'm not going out of my way to name drop anyone. It's literally an organic discussion with my audience. But taken out of context, which is all that my scumbag haters do, the whole thing does look like it's a slam piece against others. Like I'm slamming everyone else out there for doing things a different way than the way that I do it, which I did not. Okay? So basically what happened was, well, of course, one of my haters made a video like that, and all of my haters sent it to Asmongold and said, hey, because Asmongold does a whole segments of his streams where he reacts to stuff that people send him. So they said, hey, react to this, react to this, react to this. All right? So he reacts to it. And it's about 20 minutes of him reacting to the clip. Now, of course, he's only reacting to what he sees, not to the whole conversation. So I agree, out of context, the conversation, it's made to look like I'm insulting others for doing things differently of how I do it, which is completely the opposite of what the discussion was, okay? But if you watch it, all right, basically, he's like, well, number one, if you play more games, or if you play more of a new release at launch, you're going to make more money. So if you play the hell out of a new release game at launch and you get through it, then you can take days off later in the week to spend with your family. And isn't it better to have entire days with your family than half days? Okay? It's a good point. You know, that's a good point if it makes sense for a certain scale. All right. And the other points that he makes are basically like everyone has the right to do however they want. But then he actually, it's funny because some of the things in the video, he outright laughs off and agrees with. He's like, yeah, Phil, you know, he's not entirely wrong. Some of the things he's saying are actually good points, right? Not to say that I was, you know, everything that I said he agreed with. But essentially, here's the deal. Asmongold is a level-headed person. Unlike a lot of people who have seen clips out of context about me over the years, he did not go to the extreme. He did not flip out. He's basically watching this clip. And it's funny because if you watch the full react, you get to the end of it. And at the end of it, he literally says this. He goes, so let me get this straight. This is a hate video about Phil. It's literally made by his hate watchers. That's what I'm watching. It's not his stream. I'm watching a hate watcher video. That's what you guys sent me. He goes, and this stupid video has 500 comments on it. And he cracks up. He goes, damn, what a ridiculous situation that these hate watchers literally just watch this guy to make shit like this and then act like it's something it's not. And they 500 comments on a fucking worthless video. And he even says, why did you send me this? Why did I even watch this? There was no point. There's nothing to this video. It's a waste of time. It's obvious bullshit, right? He's smart. He's fucking smart. He saw through the bullshit. He's like, what a dumb thing, you know? But that's the sad fact is that's the majority of stuff on the internet about me is that. It's people always spinning it to be something it's not, to take it out of context and misrepresent me. Asmongold's smarter than that. So he was able to look at it and be like, wow, it's a stupid bullshit. Anyway, here's the deal. I just summarized, all right? What I would like to do, and this is only if you guys would like me to, and this is up to you. What we can do is during this Sunday's marathon, I will do a live react to the Asmongold react. In which case, I can add the entire context to it. Meaning, instead of them cutting out half the fucking conversation, I can explain what the full conversation was, how it was in context, right? We can do that. It's up to you, though. But we don't have to do it. But I'm feeling that's the best time to do it. Because I was thinking about doing it on Saturday, but I was like, nah, people want me to watch the clips that they submit for DSP versus the internet. They don't want me taking up their time to do another random clip that's unrelated, right? So, it's up to you if you guys want it or not. But I think live reacting to what he's saying makes a lot of sense. Because the truth is, a lot of what he's saying is completely good and makes sense. If you're watching a video that's out of context, I'm not surprised he reacts that way, right? Look, I'll give you one example, okay? When he says, well, if you just play a new release a ton in the first 3 days it's out and you get through it, you're going to get more views, you're going to get more money. That's actually not true. I'm just being honest. It's not true at all. It used to be. For someone like me, back in the day, when I was a popular YouTuber or streamer, it was. Today, it doesn't matter how much I play a new release at launch, I'm not going to get extra views and I'm not going to make extra money. There's been cases where I play a new release more, or I even go late on a new release stream and I do it, nothing happens. There's no increased benefit for me. And I can explain that in detail as of why and all of that in a live react of what he's saying. But I would like to do it all in one concerted place rather than say me do it now, but that, you know, then people are just going to clip it. I'd rather do it in my own video this weekend. That makes sense, all right? So it's up to you guys. If you want it or not, let me know. But it wouldn't be too long. I mean, his video is 20 minutes long, so at most my react would be probably like 30, 40 minutes long, and it wouldn't be a bad thing for the variety of the marathon to kind of throw it out there during the day. Plus, I'll be drinking. I'll be nice and loose anyway, so it should be a good thing to do, right? So there you go. But let's see what you guys want. And again, if it's everyone's completely, utterly against it, we don't have to do it, all right? But I'm curious, you know, about if you guys would like to see something like that or not. We'll see, all right? So we'll think about it over the week, okay?